Today I'm sharing with you one of my biggest travel and financial tips ever that has saved me thousands of dollars. It has enabled me to travel the world as a digital nomad, and I'm about to break it down for you step by step. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, I'm Alex. I'm a digital nomad splitting my time between LA, Italy, Mexico, and other amazing parts of the world. And I love sharing lifestyle, fashion, travel, and wellness videos on this channel. So if that sounds interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps my channel grow and it helps me bring more videos to you all each and every week. I want to share with you the techniques I've been using for the past 7 years to travel for free. In my best year, I traveled to Dubai, Lebanon, Mexico, Palm Springs, Los Angeles, San Francisco for free. Actually, before jumping in, I need to give a huge disclaimer. If you're early on in your budgeting and financial journey, if you're not currently living within your means or paying all your bills consistently every month, this video is not for you. I am in no way, shape, or form advocating for anyone to go into any sort of debt. Click away, sis. I know you'll get there soon. It was a journey for me as well. Use these techniques as your motivation to get financially fit, to make sure that you are living within your means and paying all your bills every single month. If, however, you are comfortable with budgeting, I'm about to open up a whole new world for you. There are risks associated with doing these types of techniques. I have been doing this for 7 years and have never once gone into credit card debt and have an excellent credit score that has gone up over time using these techniques. So it's definitely possible to do all of this safely. I'm here to look out for you. I don't want you to do anything harmful, okay? Okay, let's get into it. What I'm about to lay out for you is essentially credit card bonus hacking. And I have 7 steps that are gonna help you do this safely, responsibly, and help you really maximize the benefits so you can travel all over the world and have an amazing time at no additional cost. Step 1 is to get financially responsible. Of course, I just talked about this, but it really bears repeating. In addition to kind of just getting your house in order financially with your bills and expenses, if you have no experience using a credit card, you might want to just get a very simple no frills credit card just to kind of test the waters and understand how online banking works, what it means to set up auto pay, how the timing of credit card bills works. I've been teaching my boyfriend these techniques over the past several years, and he's European. They don't have the same credit system there, so it was kind of confusing for him at first. He's like, why am I getting a bill today for stuff that I paid for a month and a half ago? So there's definitely a learning curve in terms of understanding how that all works and managing your money responsibly. Really make sure that you're feeling comfortable not only with your money in, money out on a month-to-month basis, but also just understanding how credit cards work. It's also important to understand how credit scores work, but I'm going to talk about that in a later step. So step 2 is to do your research on the best offers that are currently available. Offers change all the time. You want to understand what is the best offer for me personally right now. I primarily use 2 websites to do this research. The first one is called thepointsguy.com. This is the first one that I was introduced to, and it's a fantastic resource, very well researched. They do regular monthly write-ups of all of the best credit card offers at a current time. They give you a breakdown of the pros and the cons. They show you all the different types of credit cards that are out there. There are travel credit cards, business credit cards, cashback credit cards, airline credit cards. There are so many different types, and this is really where you need to understand the nuances of each card and what is going to be best for you. Another website I like to use for research is NerdWallet. Both sites do really similar things, but honestly, in the research phase, the more information you have, the better. So use them both. Really dig into what the different sites say about each card so you feel really well prepared to make a decision. I personally am usually looking for cards that have the most points to offer with the lowest annual fee. That's typically like the best bang for your buck, though it's not always the case that something with a low annual fee might be the best option. You know, there are some really fantastic cards with lots and lots of perks that have a higher annual fee, like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. That card has like a $450 or maybe even a $500 annual fee, but you get a $300 travel credit, and you get $100 to spend towards your global entry application, and you get access to like thousands of lounges around the world. So that might, depending on your lifestyle, be worth the $500. So again, really understand like what are your priorities and what is going to be worth it for you. Okay, step 3, we're not quite ready to order our card yet. Don't jump the gun. We need to be strategic and lay out a plan for our spending. So most of these cards have a minimum spend that you have to hit within a certain amount of time. So just as a random example, let's say this card requires that you spend $4,000 within a 3-month time period. Now, for some of you, that might be easier than for others. If you're, let's say, a small business owner, you might be racking up thousands of dollars of expenses every month, and that's really no big deal. For some of you, maybe you're a student, or like me, I was just out of college when I started learning about all these tips. $4,000 in a month was like way beyond my means. I was like, I don't even have $4,000 in my bank account. Back in the day, I used to get kind of strategic with spending. Like my parents, their washer dryer broke and they needed to replace them, and that's a really big expense. So I asked if they could put that on my credit card and then just give me the cash later. So doing things like that. Do you have like a kitchen appliance or home repairs that are coming up? Do you have work expenses? Do you have medical bills? These are the ways that you can be strategic about making sure you're going to hit your minimum. Again, responsibly. You're not just like going out there and racking up a bunch of purchases that you're not going to be able to pay off. This is about planning your future spend to match the credit card minimum. Also, keep in mind that you're not gonna get your points until after you've hit this minimum. So part of this strategic planning is really mapping out a timeline. You can't get points for a trip that you're going on next month. You need to allot a certain amount of time for applying for the credit card, getting the credit card, then spending all that money, and then getting your points. Now you're at a point where you can make your travel purchase. If you're finding this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, which helps us reach even more people and give this incredible financial and travel knowledge. Okay, step 5 is to understand how the credit score system works. This is really important because you need to know what you're getting yourself into by ordering your first card. The credit score system is really important here in the US. It really impacts a lot of financial decisions and abilities, so protecting your credit score is incredibly important. When you order a credit card, it is what is known as a hard hit on your credit, which means it actually detracts a few points from your score, which is why it's really important to do this all strategically to make sure that you're not doing a bunch of activity that is gonna hit your credit all at once. You don't want to be like taking out a mortgage or student loans and getting credit cards. Like that's too much. You're going to really affect your score negatively if you're doing that. So really familiarize yourself with all the different levers and factors that impact your credit score so you know how it's going to be affected. The good news is that if you're doing this right, if you're following all of these steps that I'm laying out for you and the steps following, you could potentially even boost your credit score, because one of the factors that goes into your score is your debt to credit ratio. So if you have more available credit, not credit that you're using, available credit from a bank, and you have a very low, ideally zero debt, that is going to help boost your score. Also know that not all credit cards are available to everyone. Usually the really awesome cards are reserved for people with excellent credit. So if that's not you right now, you might want to consider getting a card that requires like fair or good credit so you can start building up your credit score and eventually then apply for some of these really stellar credit cards. That's what my boyfriend had to do here when he came to the US. He obviously didn't have a credit score, so he's had to build his up over time. All right, now we're getting to the fun part. We have done a ton of research to arm ourselves with how to milk the system responsibly. And this is where you get to order your first credit card. So again, you've identified the card that you want. You're gonna go ahead and go online and apply. Don't be alarmed if they need a few days to get back to you. It's happened to me in the past too. If you're, rejected for whatever reason, try going for like an easier credit card. Once you get approved, it usually takes 7 to 10 business days for the card to arrive. You're gonna activate your card if that's what it requires. You're going to create an account online. You're gonna log in and familiarize yourself with how to track your transactions. Because again, this isn't a runaway train. We are gonna be looking at our statements every month, making sure no one's taking advantage of our credit card, no one's stealing our money. We know exactly how we're spending our money. And you're gonna set up auto pay right away, so you're never late on a payment. Step 6, we're gonna now rack up and cash in on those points. So you have your credit card, you've made your plan, you're gonna go ahead and make all your purchases. And when you've hit that minimum, you should see your points registered online in the system. This is so exciting. Congratulations. Now you get to use this however your heart desires. It doesn't all have to be spent on travel. Maybe you're not actually traveling anywhere this year. You can use it for cash back on purchases. You can use it to get bigger ticket items like this Oura ring. She ain't cheap. She's actually definitely, I think, a little overpriced, but this was really important to me. And I ended up going through this process. I went with, I think it was a Capital One cashback card that gave me like $300 or $400 cash back. So instead of paying like $500 to $600 for my Oura ring, I spent $200. I remember one year I had a bunch of leftover credit card points that weren't going to be able to cover a full flight, but in the system they were allowing you to buy gift cards. So I ended up just buying a bunch of like Amazon and Sephora and Target gift cards and giving those away to my friends and family for Christmas. So that was my Christmas shopping done for free. So use it however you want. If you are going to be using it for travel, there are a few things to note. Some of the bigger banks like Chase, like Capital One, have their own travel booking systems within like their portals that can be really advantageous. Sometimes they give you better deals on travel, but it's really up to you to do the research. I would recommend when you're ready to book, go in there, see what kinds of deals they're offering to your destination. Sometimes booking travel through these portals is the best deal. Sometimes I'll go in there and see, oh gosh, they're charging $800 for a flight, which can be covered with, let's just say 80,000 points. But I went on Expedia or Google Flights and saw a flight for $600. So I'm actually just going to use my credit card to buy the $600 flight and then go into the portal and request cash back on the $600 purchase. So I'm using less points to get to my same destination. It's a game, but it's the thrill. Let me tell you, I find it fun. I find it really fun to milk the system and find the best deal possible. This is like travel thrifting. This is exactly what it is. It's travel freaking thrifting. Oh my gosh. That's why I like it so much. Okay, step 7, and this is one of the most important steps, so don't click away. Step 7 is the homework, because we're not done. In order, like I said, to do this responsibly and make sure this doesn't negatively affect you down the line, you need to follow through with step 7, which is the credit card homework. So part 1 is to create a tracking system for yourself. You need to remember when your cards are going to renew. This is so important. So whether it's putting reminders in your phone or writing it down on a calendar on your fridge, make sure you know when your card's going to renew and you alert yourself some way before that happens. Because what you need to do is decide if you want to keep it before it renews. And like most of these cards, the bonus is only for year 1 and all of the perks are only for year 1, which means, it was really worth it year 1, but is it worth it year 2? You might look at it and say, you know what, I'm getting all these benefits again in year 2. So yeah, it is worth it for me. I do want to pay that annual fee to keep the benefits. But let's say there are no benefits in year 2 and there's an annual fee. You might not want to keep that, in which case you need to take action before your card renews. The really important piece here is do not cancel your card. Canceling a card is only do it as a last resort, because canceling a credit card negatively affects your credit score. Now, I've been doing this for 7 years and I have never had to cancel a card, and have not had any negative effects on my credit score. Let me tell you how. You call the credit card company and you tell them you want to downgrade to an option with no annual fee. A lot of these banks have credit cards that don't have annual fees, and rather than lose your business, they would like to keep you as a customer on a different product. Because let's be real, they want your business and they're banking on you to fail. They're banking on you to not listen to me, to rack up credit card debt and then charge you interest on that debt. So this is why I'm telling you, these steps are so critical. Call and say you want to downgrade your credit card to a version with no annual fee. Sometimes it takes a little bit of negotiating, but it's really not hard. It's not hard. I'm not a pushy person and I've managed to do it every time. So once you've downgraded your card, they're gonna send you this new credit card with no annual fee. That one, either throw it in the trash or put it in a hideaway drawer. You just want to forget about it. Before you hide away the card, make sure you transfer any recurring payments or subscriptions to a new card so you don't forget about them. And now you have safely set yourself up for success. And maybe you're ready for your next card. Jokes aside, when I was doing this aggressively, I was doing this no more than like 3 to 4 times a year, every 3 to 4 months. Don't do this more than that. That's probably gonna hurt your credit score more than it's worth. But if you're really able to be strategic, implement all of these steps that I've talked about, and you have big expenses coming up, move on to the next card. Get that money. There you have it, my 7 steps to hacking the system, how I've managed to travel for free for 7 years. I'm serious. Now, if I, like 80% of my flights that I book in a year are completely free. If I have to pay for a flight, like I'm pissed at myself. I'm pissed at myself because something has gone wrong. I have not followed my own advice. If you're interested in hearing like a part 2 where I break down my favorite credit cards, the ones that I think that you should get, please let me know in the comments down below. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps this video rise to the top, and hit the subscribe button if you're interested in following along on more of my adventures. It really helps my channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. I upload new videos every single week. So until next time, bye.